United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in to another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast. Joined by your hosts, as always, Michael with Jacob, here live with you post-match. Tottenham 3, Manchester City 2 at the Etihad.
Talk to me.
And folks,
Talk to me.
Conte's tricky lily whites, I am here to report that they are back.
Indeed.
Dejan Kulusevski makes his full Premier League debut, first start under Antonio Conte's Lily Whites. Dejan, whatever you want to call it.
I heard it.
Hey, you know what? Kulu, Deki, it don't matter, baby.
I heard it pronounced Dan, like Dan, almost as like a Dan. Dan.
Regardless,
Dan
Kulusevski from Juventus. He makes his first Premier League start. We'll get into the lineup in a little bit, but he opens the scoring in the 4th minute. Harry Kane scores our second goal in the 59th, and then he scores our third in the 95th minute in stoppage time. We'll get to it all, folks. But bottom line, Spurs avoid losing 4 in a row in the Premier League. They beat the defending champions. They beat the league leaders on the road in a tough environment. A half-empty Etihad Stadium. You know it's always a hostile environment for the El Plastico fans. But regardless, huge result. And folks, we come to you here with such much more positive vibes than in recent times. It's a nice, refreshing victory. And Jacob, I think I nutted 5 times in the second half alone, because of Harold Edward Kane. What a performance. Let's start with him before we get into the starting 11.
Harry Kane, you madman.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
Madman. He's a madman. He's the king. The king is back, baby. The king has returned. I've been not his number one critic, but I've been harsh. I've been rough.
I know.
On Harry Kane. But that's because my expectations of the man are so high, because I respect his game. And he's shown it to me time and time again why he's got probably one of the biggest cocks in England. So for me, I'm sure his wife is happy, and all Spurs fans are happy, because this is This is the team that he wanted to leave us for, and he did that to them. The fact that we had lost 3 games in a row, then we're going into the Etihad, playing the league leaders. There's no way we win that game, right? Like, there's no way. You don't do that. This is the second time we play him, too. If this was the first time, I'd say, okay, maybe they let us slip and they let us get one by him. This is the second time we played him, bro, and we won again. I mean, what else can you say? Everyone stepped the fuck up. Everyone played with BDE. Everyone played, like we had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Antonio Conte, you're not listening, but if you ever do, I fucking love you, dude.
We love you.
I'm in your DMs. I'm in your comments. I'm here. I'm there. I'm everywhere for you, Conte. You've got a fan for life. I don't care what you do. The fact what you gave me, you will forever be solidified as a manager that I love.
For sure.
That was such a beautiful game, bro. We kept getting down. VAR kept trying to take us out of it. The 4th official sat on the sidelines, loved it. Into my fucking veins, bro. That 4th official, so sad that we scored in the 90-some minute to end that game.
Fake.
He was upset, bro. He was upset.
For real. Regardless, man. Huge performance, huge result. But
Harry Kane.
You alluded to this, and let's go ahead and get into it now before we talk about the starting 11. We might as well. It's just a great team performance, a great team effort, I think, more importantly. You saw 11 players out there at a time that were giving their all. Sometimes, yes, the quality wasn't there. We'll get into it in a little bit. But still, the effort was there from, I agree with you, from every single player in this starting 11 this week. So let's get into it. Hugo in net, as always. Christian Romero, Eric Dyer, and Ben Davies round out the threesome. Now, obviously, Ben Davies had a shocking performance against Wolves. He still makes the starting 11 against City. Emerson Royale and Ryan Sessegnon start once more at the wingback positions. Emerson on the right, Sessegnon on the left.
Davies had a really good game. Antonio Conte said that in his post game with Spurs TV.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to that, and whenever the guy had kind of asked him, you got Eric Dyer and Christian Romero together again, finally. Like, what was that like for you guys? And he's like, you can't really single out one person. You got to also say, like, Ben Davies. I mean, obviously, don't take me word for word on the quote, but to the effect of, hey, yeah, we had Dyer and Romero together, but don't forget about Ben Davies. I mean, he was shit in about 2 out of the last 3 games. Absolute dog shit. We talked all the shit about him.
Mm-hmm. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Rodrigo Bentancur round out the midfield with Hyunmin Han, Hyunmin Dad, Hyunmin Son, and Dejan Kulusevski, like we mentioned, making his full Premier League debut, first start for Tottenham. They're up front on either wings, and to lead the line, Harold Edward Kane. I mentioned it earlier, scored 2 goals in this match, both in the second half, both to take the lead, and ultimately the last one to win the game in the 95th minute, 5th minute of extra time. Probably his best performance this season, and definitely one of his best performances, ladies and gentlemen, of all time in a Spurs kit. We can debate it all you want, but I'm sitting here and I'm telling you right now that Harry Kane performance against Manchester City was one of the best performances I have ever seen in my life. Truly. I saw a few stats on Twitter. Shout out at whoever the fuck on Twitter, our reliable source.
Shout out.
3 shots, 3 on target, 2 of them were goals, and he could have had a 4th, but 1 got ruled off for offside. VAR took off what would have been a 3-1 game before Riyad Mahrez scored and finished an unlucky VAR penalty kick call that went in the favor of Manchester City. But regardless, it didn't fucking matter. I'm going to bring him out right now. So if you're watching on Spotify on video, fun fact, if you didn't know, Spotify now has video podcasts along with just audio. If you're tuning in on Spotify, go ahead and head over to the video right now. Harry Kane, baby.
I love how, like, most
Harry
episodes, you have a moment in every episode where you're like,
I have
for all you listeners, you got to tune into the video right fucking now. I think after the Leicester City game, we were both. Now it's Harry Kane, bro. That bobblehead. Honestly, it should be a constant fixture in the shot that I'm seeing for you right now. Honestly,
yeah, for sure.
This man, I've been crying for it all season. If you've listened to this podcast, shout out to you first off. Second off, you've heard me complain that Harry Kane needs to step the fuck up in these kind of games. He stepped the fuck up. I'm so happy. I love this man. I even texted Michael, I gotta admit, during the game, I'm a salty person. I'm a pretty salty person. Like, when you hurt my feelings, it kind of remains there for a little bit. And with Harry Kane, he hurt my feelings this summer. I'll just be honest with you. I mean, he hurt my feelings. This is the team. He wants to go win trophies with Manchester City because they're the best team, yada, yada.
Yeah.
If so facto, King Kane stays in Tottenham. And now he puts on this performance versus this team.
Would you like me to read it out loud?
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right.
I give you permission to air out.
So early in the first...
My emotional text during the
I think it was like kind of late in the first half.
I want to disclaim. Yeah. I do want to disclaim that these matches are emotional. So when
for
I'm
sure.
texting Michael, it's
a roller coaster ride for both of us.
It's pure emotion. Yeah.
So he texts me early on in the first half and says, low key, I'm half salty at Kane right now. Motherfucker wishes he was in baby blue right now. And I put the laughing reaction to that second message. And I said, bro, what? Because at this point, he's already had that beautiful ball. We'll get into the first goal right now. We might as well, just because I'm bringing it up. But
it's a great segue.
I said, bro, what? He's going to score, bro. And this was at 10:47, so this was probably in like the 17th minute. I said, he's going to score, bro. And guess what he did? He delivered. But to be fair, you did say his passing has been moisture as fuck.
I don't
So
care
let's
at
get
what
into
point
it.
I'm
Let's get
emotional
into
at the
it.
game.
First goal of the match is on the counterattack against the run of play. Manchester City already applying a ton of pressure, which, by the way, Spurs only had 28% possession in this match at the Etihad. So it was pretty much sit back, defend, stay strong, hit him on the counter, catch him off guard.
Seven
And hey,
center backs. We
hey,
had
you know
7
what?
center backs at one point. I loved it.
Whatever helps us beat the plastic fans, man. Whatever gets them upset, I'm here for. Regardless, though, great counterattack on the first goal. Harry Kane hits a lovely, beautiful one-time pass. It was more of like a kind of like a flick ahead to Son, and I think it was Ruben Diaz. Son gets
doing
through
that.
on goal to Kulusevski. Kulusevski basically passes the ball into the net in between João Cancelo's legs, and the rest is history.
I mean, the goalie also, to my knowledge, that looked like a fucking foul.
Wrecked Heung-min Son. It would have
Yeah,
been a
that
penalty if that didn't go in.
So I loved it. I want to say that pass. That's
Unselfish.
I'm talking about the pass. The first pass.
Oh,
from Harry
the Kane pass? Oh, dude. World class. Class.
That's a fuck your butt pass, bro. That's just right up your butt pass. Just there it is. And before fucking Ruben Diaz, player of the year, bullshit ass player of the year, when Harry Kane should have obviously been the player of the year, he gets turned around. It was a beautiful sight. Heung-min Son, he's running. His hair's just bouncing. He's looking great. He's looking happy. Blasting past Ruben Diaz. I love to see it. And the ball from Harry Kane.
Beautiful.
They were hugging. The way that they were holding each other today, the way that they were hugging each other on Saturday, before the City game.
After the third goal, bro.
I've missed that. I've missed it so much.
The third goal when Son, he has him around his shoulder and Son's just pointing to Kane. Oh, my God, man. This game was just beautiful in so many ways.
We needed that.
Oh, it was much needed, my friend. Much, much needed. But regardless, yeah, so Kulusevski opens the scoring. So he makes his first Premier League start, first Tottenham start, full debut for Tottenham. Scores in the 4th minute, is all over the pitch. He does well, tracking back as well on defense. It was just an all-around great performance from the young lad. He's only 21 years old, man. Already making an impact for Tottenham against one of the best sides in the world, not only in the Premier League, but in the world. What can you say about the man?
I don't want to be nitpicky, but he wasn't all over the pitch. He was tracking back very much. He was heavy defense, but I mean, I think everyone was because we needed that. But I was just looking at his heat map. He didn't touch too much of the left side of the field, which that's okay.
Well, I meant more of the right side. He was all over the right side of the pitch, bro.
No, yeah.
Like, that was his territory.
And defensively, too. I think we saw a lot of really good things from him defensively. He looked composed.
His work rate's really good, man. His work rate's incredible.
And at
such a young age.
We were texting about it earlier. I mean, I think his decision-making in the final third or even in the opponent's half, his decision-making, like, he doesn't think like a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
He thinks very mature. He plays very mature. The only rip I got on the guys, I think he's kind of slow. But we didn't need pace today. We needed exactly what he brought.
Once he sheds that pasta fat from Italy, he'll be good to go. Don't worry. It's only a matter of time, man. Once Conte will get him fit, he's gonna get him fucking churning. He's gonna get him ready for the Premier League. So after Kulusevski scores, Ilkay Gundogan does score for Manchester City. He does equalize in the 33rd minute. But early on in the second half, Harry Kane doubles the scoring for Spurs in the 59th minute after an absolutely beautiful ball from Heung-min Son. And the finish, the ball bounces right before it hits Harry Kane's foot, and he just kind of guides it into the top right corner of the net, beats Ederson. Ederson has basically 0% chance of saving that ball into the back of the net, right in front of the away end. Absolute limbs in front of the away end. Harry Kane and Heung-min Son have equaled the Premier League record for goal combinations between two players with 36. With Harry Kane's first goal of the match, doubles the lead. Incredible scenes in the away end. absolute limbs. But more importantly, man, what can you say about this fucking duo? World class.
I mean, it's this thing we saw that was so successful last year. It was so beautiful to watch that I really felt like we were missing so much of. Now, I hope this little rift in between them, or whatever the little dud that we got from the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if it's a rift. It's just they haven't been, they just haven't been on the same page exactly.
Maybe
on
they
the
need to
pitch.
have lunch together more often, and
Maybe.
they ain't been having lunch together enough. I don't know, but we all knew that there was something going on. And they weren't too happy with each other. What I thought was really promising was I heard Heung-min Son in the post game talking about how it hurt him emotionally to watch Harry Kane go through what he went through, hearing the things in the media when he was, what Heung-min Son said was when he was still, performing for the team. He didn't say he thought Harry Kane was playing less for the team. He thought he was still putting in a solid shift, and that it hurt him emotionally to see Harry Kane have to go through some of that. So for me, honestly, bro, that was really nice to hear. It makes me think that everything's okay again.
I'm here to tell you, my friend, that everything is okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to friggin' go JO real quick.
We scored first. Kulusevski scored his first Tottenham goal, absolute scenes. But more importantly, it was an early goal to set the tone and kind of give some cushion, if you will, just because we knew we were going to concede, right? Let's be honest. We knew we were going to concede against a team like Manchester City. We were going to have to score more than one goal if we wanted to win the game. But that was kind of what I was thinking when the first goal went in. I was like, all right, this is a perfect start to the game. We caught them on the counter. Let's see them, try to stay resilient as possible, try to see out this result and hopefully get another goal. But when the second goal went in, man, I was like, all right, we mean business now. Kane's back. Sonny, absolutely world-class ball into the box for Kane. This is it. So we mentioned VAR a few times. I know Jacob's salty at it. I'm salty at it as well. Unlucky decision against Christian Romero in the 92nd minute, second minute in stoppage time. Or really 90th minute, I guess. VAR check rules that Christian Romero had a handball inside the box on I believe it was a Bernardo Silva cross or something. Cross accidentally hits Romero's arm as he's coming down. He slid early for the ball on the left-hand side of the box. It hits his arm. They rule it a penalty kick. They award it to Manchester City. Riyad Mahrez scores the penalty. Hugo does guess the right way. Unlucky for the skipper because he was great, and we'll get into it in a little bit.
If there was any less force on that ball, Hugo's saving that.
Yeah, it was a really, really good penalty by Riyad Mahrez. He finishes into the top right corner of the box, but like we said earlier, it did not matter. In the 95th minute, 5th minute of stoppage time. Would you like to talk about the 95th minute winner, Jacob? Because I know you wanted to dive into a certain pass that created the opportunity.
For me, this goal epitomized what I think our mentality is trying to become under Antonio Conte.
Talk to me.
This is the second game versus what I would say a very good side. I would say Leicester City is a very good side, and we saw what happened to them in stoppage time. I feel like this is something we're trying, right? Unfortunately, I thought that Leicester game was going to be kind of a catapult for us, right? Yeah. This, for me, this pass, Bentancur, Rodrigo. I was texting Michael earlier, and I said, he's slowly becoming one of my new favorite Spurs players. I love watching this man play. He's doing a lot of things that I was really thinking Tanguy and Ndombele was going to be able to do for our squad. These passes, the on-the-ball confidence, the desire, the thought to get forward. His passing is so good. And if you watch the replay back, you will see that he had Matt Doherty wide open. And I saw a tweet about this, so I will have to shout out at whoever the fuck on Twitter. Yo, Harry Winks, he plays that to Doherty 100 times just to be safe. 100 out of 100 times. Bentancur, he lobs it deep to Kulusevski. And when I tell you that I honestly didn't know if he was going to get there, I didn't know if he was going to get there. It was so late in the game. I didn't know.
I was worried that he was going to be offside again.
Yeah, because the other one that had gotten called back. Right. I mean, me too. I was like, please, let's. I'm so used to when we have a deep ball like that, having like a Steven Bergwijn or a Lucas Moura who just fucking sends it into the box with reckless abandon.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I was expecting. And when it sailed over Lucas Moura's head at first, I'm like, oh, shit. But, bro, Harry fucking Kane, when you need the man the most, where was he?
Yeah, Kulusevski crosses the ball from the right-hand side of the field into the box, goes over Lucas Moura's head, but Harry Kane rises to the occasion, dunks on Kyle Walker, and heads the ball into the back of the net. I think that was my favorite part of that goal, bro, was the fact that it was over our old right back, a player that was so great for us and who has, to be fair, been so great for Manchester City over the years. But to do it over Kyle Walker, it felt a little bit better, just because of what went down all those years ago. But my other favorite part of not only the game winner but the other Harry Kane goal as well was that it was right in front of the away end at the Etihad, so you could see all of the Tottenham fans go absolutely crazy. So if you're listening to this across the pond in the UK and you were at the game in Manchester, you made the trip, you guys were absolutely phenomenal on Saturday. We heard you all match. You were loud, you were proud, but more importantly, man, you guys were just your presence and the absolute scenes, man, in the crowd on both of those goals. But let's talk about Christian Romero real quick, man. Unlucky decision against him that got ruled by VAR to give Manchester City their penalty in stoppage time. But him and the rest of the back line, they had a decent performance in my opinion. What were your thoughts on the back line?
I was highly impressed. I thought it was pretty obvious that we had Eric Dyer back.
Yeah, but like even just like players like Ben Davies, we already mentioned that. Well, at least I did. He was poor, in my opinion, against Wolves, and he was at fault for the second goal, partially. But in my opinion, he bounced back very, very well, to be fair, and he played a great ball to Harry Kane that led to the Kulusevski goal in the 4th minute. So I'll give credit where credit's due. Ben Davies had a great game, but I think you're right, man. Just Eric Dyer being back in the formation, giving us another relatively steady center back as in terms of this season's form, and you get to push Christian Romero out to the right where he's played very well before. And to be fair, once again, he had an absolutely phenomenal game on the right-hand side of that back three formation. But you're right, man. I think Eric Dyer being back was a huge, huge difference between the last game to this one. It was great to see Romero and Dyer back in the same starting 11.
I also thought that it gave Christian Romero the chance to really showcase just how great he is at whatever position you want to plug him in at. Ben Davies, this was his best game in a little while. He's kind of struggled, like you said, and it was just like they were playing different. I don't know if Eric Dyer being out there gave the fucking squad some BDE or what, but honestly, I think I texted you about the Christian Romero during the match too. I was like, dude, this guy's got to be packing a fucking hog. The way he just bosses this entire field. It doesn't matter.
His physicality, his strength, and his aggressiveness. The combination of all three is what, in my opinion, separates him from other really good center backs. That's what separates you from a great center back and a world-class center back.
If you're an NBA fan, he reminds me of Boogie Cousins underneath the basket. And this is all over the pitch that this man plays. So that just gives you an idea of how physical this man is. Like I said, dude, I don't know what else to say. I think he's got to have a hog. He's got to have a hog, bro. He's the epitome of BDE. And, bro, I heard that we're going to sign him. It's 50 mil, bro. That's all he's going to cost. That's cheap as fuck, in my opinion, for the quality he brings, for the energy he brings. I mean, just looking at his stats.
I think he's like an 80 million rated center back, in my opinion, bro.
Yeah,
80, 90.
I was going to say, like 75 to 85 is kind of where I could see someone spending 75 mil on this guy.
For sure.
I mean, just looking at his stats, 7 clearances, 2 block shots, 2 interceptions. Obviously, unlucky with that handball. I mean, he's sliding.
Yeah.
He's playing hard, deep in stoppage time. I mean, when you think about the time in which they scored that penalty and then the time in which we went and got the winner, I screamed so much and I got upset because we had two. It was two, right? That VAR called off.
Mm-hmm. Because they had the Harry Kane goal, which would have made it 3-1. That was ruled out by VAR, and then they called the handball in the 90th minute.
When that Harry Kane one happened, I started shaking. I got so excited. It was so beautiful. It gets called back. We give up a handball, and then the game completely changes. So for me, I'm worried at that moment. I know what this looks like. We've been here. And there was so much time. I felt like, damn, they may even go and snag a winner here. We just need to play it safe, get the point. But at that point, it still felt like a draw would have been like a loss. And I know going into that game, I had said if we came out with a draw, that to me was like a win. But at that juncture in the game, to me, that draw felt like a loss. And apparently it felt like a loss to everyone else in that squad too, because they went and got that goal. Dude, when I tell you, that game's an instant classic. Instant fucking classic.
For sure.
Just like the Leicester game. We've been having those. And I think that is just an example of Antonio Conte. He had a whole week to game plan this. Look what that man did. Jesus, if you don't back this man, that's another topic, but this manager's the real deal, bro. I think he's the best manager we've ever had.
No, for sure.
In our lifetime anyway.
He was definitely the difference on Saturday. I think another important aspect of this game, and one of the biggest reasons why we won, was the players that didn't necessarily have a great first half, they bounced back and had a great second half. Højbjerg was struggling early on. I know you mentioned that you didn't exactly like his start to the match.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Bentancur surprisingly struggled early on as well in the midfield. Emerson didn't play that well in the first half. He had a few crosses that were in no man's land or just completely over the target. I think those three players in particular, they didn't have the best first half. Hugo, I thought, was a little bit unfortunate that the ball kind of bounced his way when on Manchester City's first goal, but another part of me does definitely think that maybe he should have caught that ball. So you could argue that Hugo Lloris had a great bounce back performance because later on in the match he had a world-class save against a İlkay Gündoğan curler into the back corner of the net. But Hugo was there. He made an absolutely great save. So you could even throw him in that mix, who really bounced back and turned his performance around and put in a really, really good shift. But that second half, man, the change of attitude, that you could see the heart and the effort that the players were giving, I think that was ultimately the difference, especially for the players who bounced back from the first half to the second half. You could definitely see the passion in their eyes and the effort that they were giving. The work rates in the midfield from Højbjerg and Bentancur. You're right, man. It was an instant classic. It was definitely one of my favorite Spurs games I've ever watched. It was great. It had everything in it.
It really did. It had so much drama, so much beauty. It was really back and forth. One of the things I think that stood out to me was, we're playing the league leader, Manchester City. Like some Antonio Conte would say, the best club in the world right now. That's his words. We're going to their home and do that after losing 3 in a row. Pep kind of said it before the game too. He said Tottenham's dangerous in this situation. They're on a 3-game losing streak. I think now they're more dangerous than ever. He was fucking right. Pep ain't right a lot. He was right. That motherfucker was right. Because you know what? We did it. If there was a medal to be won for beating Manchester City twice, we fucking got it. Man City has lost 3 times this year.
How many times have they lost to us?
2. 2 out of the 3 times they've lost this year. They've only dropped 12 points all season. Half of those, 6, were to Tottenham. Bro. And we can't even get a point out of that Wolves or Southampton game. Come on.
Unlucky.
I was texting my wife about it, like, only Tottenham can do things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Go on this ugly losing streak and then beat the best team in the world. Per Conte. I'm saying that per Conte.
Yeah.
Bro, it's amazing. It's amazing. There's so many. We could literally just sit here and gush and talk about all the beautiful things. I want to talk about real quick Hugo Lloris on that first goal. Watching it back, that ball from Sterling had some pace on it, and I don't think he thought it had as much velocity as it did, and so he fucked up the catch.
I was harsher on him in the moment, like when it happened, but now that I've seen it back a few times, that's why I say
It's
when
tough.
I mentioned the goal, I was like, I think he's partially a little bit unlucky because of the way it kind of bounced in front of him, but the other half of me is like, I think he still should have, because of how good he is, I think he should have gobbled that up. You know what I mean? But
I love
but
that, gobble
to be
it up.
like I said, I definitely thought that he was a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, he still should have gobbled it up. Gobbled.
gobble, gobble, gobble. Oh man, that's a great word. Honestly, also I thought Emerson Royale had a really good game. I mean,
In the second, like I said,
He
the
gets
second
a lot of
half he
shit,
was
bro.
good.
I thought
He
he
was
was
good
pretty good.
defensively. He was good positionally. In that kind of like back 8 at one point, back 7. But to be fair, yes, I thought he played well in the second half. But like I mentioned, the first half, some of his crosses were just like, bro, what are you doing out there? Like, are you even looking at do you even know where you're crossing the ball? But yeah, no, I agree with you, man. Especially in the second half, I thought he played well.
You know what I just thought of that our team reminded me of? Did you see that video of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium like waving in the wind?
Mm-hmm.
You saw that video, right?
Yeah.
That's honestly what I felt like our squad looked like, absorbing the pressure from Man City. We were just constantly, the whole game, absorbing pressure. And then to still come out on top of a game like that, a game where the best team in the world is going to possess 70% of that, and we still came out on top, bro. You can't write this shit up. I can't wait. If you're listening to this before Tuesday, there's a live stream. You may have heard of it. It's on Tottenham Away's YouTube channel. It's called United Spurs of America every Tuesday. Stelio said, if Man City lose this game, we're fighting with 2 bananas. He
said we are bringing bananas, because he's British. Shout out Stelios.
We're going to the gunfight with 2 bananas.
Yeah, we're bringing 2 bananas to a gunfight. Which, to be fair, like I get the point that he was making, but dude, it was so funny when he said it. I think that was probably the best part of the live stream on last Tuesday. That was hilarious.
You say that,
man.
I watched it back, and I was busy yelling at Stelios because he had said to play the U23s because we should be more prepared for the Burnley game instead of this game because we were definitely going to lose this game. And I was just going off on him saying, what the fuck's the point of believing or like following a team, supporting your team if you don't believe that they can? It's David versus Goliath, bro. It's in the Bible.
It was funny. I was just kind of sitting there and I was just like listening to everyone. I was like, yeah, you make a good point. Oh yeah,
no,
you
and
make a
Iggy
good point.
fucking lost it when he said 2 bananas. Y'all lost it, and I was busy yelling. So it was funny when I rewatched it, bro, and I re-listened to it because it was also we used it as a special for episode 43, I believe, or 42, one of them, because it was that good. It was a long ass episode, but
it was fun.
If you listen to it, yeah, that was definitely a good time. So we're gonna be giving them a lot of shit. I don't know. They also got the stream on Mondays for Tottenham Away, their little Monday night pod. I'm definitely gonna be tuning into that, give him some shit. So shout out Stelios, Tottenham Away. But yeah, man, what's up with the U23s? That's what I'm gonna say. What's up? Fucks up, bro. Fucks up, bro.
Man of the match in BDE.
Oh yes. No wait, I feel like I should go. Wait, I feel like I should go because I feel like I know where you're going, and I feel like I want you to have more to say. So I want you to end it out with your. Right. I feel like yours is gonna be.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get into man of the match and BDE of the match. Jacob, start us off, my friend. Who is your man of the match? Man of the match. I hate to be cliche and go with what you have to go with, bro. It's Harry Kane. Bro, he had 3 goals. Two of them counted.
The man was on a mission.
Damn,
the
talk
man
dirty
was,
to me, Jacob. Jeez.
The man was on a motherfucking mission. Okay, so that's my man of the match. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to keep it light because I'm going to let you go in. My BDE. Now, this is going to be a crazy one. I'm giving it to the whole fucking team, bro.
Wow.
I'm giving it to Antonio Conte.
I think that's the
I'm giving
first
it to the
time any
ball
of us have
boy.
ever done that. All
I'm
right.
giving it to Emerson Royale, Christian Romero, Ben Davies, Hugo Lloris. Everyone stepped up. They faced adversity time and time again. They stepped up again and again to fight for these fucking 3 points. These were important 3 points. This is an important game in hand that we have in the grand scheme of top 4. So for me, bro, BDE, Antonio Conte, and then the juices just trickle down from there to the rest of the squad. Because it was so much BDE, bro. Ryan Mason got BDE. Ledley King got the BDE. The whole side. Joe Roden fucking hugging Antonio Conte gave me some BDE. All right? It was beautiful. I saw him hugging Roden. Joe Roden, the man who don't get no playing time under Antonio Conte. I saw them hugging, and I was screaming. My son was crying. He's like, why are you screaming,
What's
Daddy?
going on?
The same thing during the Leicester game. Why are you screaming at me, Daddy? And I'm not, son. I'm losing my shit because of Harry Kane. So BDE, the whole team, bro. Whole team. But go ahead. I want to hear yours now.
My man of the match is Harold Edward Kane.
Get the bobblehead. Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah.
Harry Kane is my man of the match. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. One of the best performances I have ever seen in a Premier League match in my lifetime. One of the best Harry Kane performances of his career, and possibly the best performance of any Spurs player this season as well. What a player. World class. His finishing is now back to world class. That first goal, dude, do you realize how difficult that is to put it where Harry Kane put it? Where literally Ederson, even if Ederson did dive to his left, there was no shot with the pace of the ball and the lift that Harry Kane had. No shot anyone was getting to that. The second goal, dunking on Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker felt the BDE, bro. And that's going to be my allusion to my BDE of the match as well. Unlucky, once again, for the third game in a row, Christian Romero loses out on BDE of the match. He gets second place. I want to give a shout out to Christian Romero because I feel bad. I really do.
Honorable mention. You got honorable mentions.
But BDE of the match is Harold Edward Kane for that second goal. Dunking on Kyle Walker, holding his arms out, the Messiah of North London, of N17, of Tottenham Hotspur, in front of the away end. Seriously, bro. You couldn't have written it. I couldn't have written it better. And you know how much I love Harry Kane. Everyone does. I couldn't have even written it better. The man is world class. Best striker in the league. Best striker in the world. I said it before. I'm saying it again. He's back. The king is back. He's my man of the match and BDE of the match. It's rare. It's rare when it's both players, or when it's the same player for both awards, but I can't give it to anyone else. I can't. I physically cannot say that anyone else is BD of the match. I can only give a shout out to Christian Romero.
This was a rare game, so it deserves some rare awards, I think, from both of us. I also want to say there was, I don't know if it was before his first goal or after his first goal, before the second one that got ruled off. There was a shot where Harry Kane, I think Youngman Son also played him in, and he was in the box, and he took it on his right foot, and it looked like he kind of, if he just put a little lift on it, Ederson don't get there. But he kind of looked like he tried to pass it in the bottom corner, and Ederson is apparently quality enough to stop it. And I remember, I think I texted you like, oh, he should have lifted that. But then he did, or he had just done that. So I don't know. And he was trying something different. But Harry Kane, what can you say? I mean, that's the worst thing I could say about the man. There was one time on one of his goals, maybe he could have lifted it, maybe.
Yeah.
But in the moment, it was just a good save by Ederson. But this whole team, bro, I'm just so proud. I'm just so proud.
So I have an idea.
Also, I called it the night before the game. I quote tweeted the thing saying it's match day because they usually, around midnight my time that comes out. I quote tweeted it and I said, "We're gonna get the upset dub." Called it. Fucking called it, bro. Pretty happy about that.
You felt it in the air. I have
was
an
there.
idea, and I'd like to propose something that we could do possibly moving forward in the podcast that I think would be pretty cool for the fans.
A little
One
live production meeting right here.
One final thought before we sign off. It can be anything you want. One final thought. You want to try it out here, my friend?
One final thought on the Tottenham Hotspur.
This was a good episode, man. For all of you still sticking around at the 42nd minute mark?
Well, it'll probably be edited, so this might be like the
40th minute mark.
35th.
Regardless,
Might be 35th minute.
thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Shout out.
But one final thought, my friend, before we sign off here.
My one final thought. If I had known we were going to do this, I would have saved my excited speech about Joe Roden and Antonio Conte hugging. So my one final thought, I'm going to leave you with this. Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, holding each other, their moistures touching each other's moistures, becoming one moisture. That's my final thought right there. That's a good parting thought for me. Son's and Kane's moisture becoming one volume of moisture, one wetness, one wet spot, if you will.
A very wet final thought. I like it.
Bro, it was a wet ass game.
It was. I was wet. Second half, man. Harry
I'm
Kane.
wet, and we're talking about it fucking 48 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, that was a great game. What's your one final thought from Michael Ramirez?
He's one of our own. He's one of our own. Harry Kane. He's one of our own. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast. We want to give a shout out to Faraz and Pete, our sponsors. If you want to become a sponsor, go support us on Patreon, and also go support us on anchor.fm/United Spurs of America. Click on support, and the rest is history. But shout out Faraz, shout out Pete. Thank you guys both so much for all your support.
Massive supporters of the pod. Financially, we appreciate you.
And massive shout out to our listeners. Thank you so much, like we mentioned, for listening to another edition of this podcast.
Also, real quick, this is a weird one, but on Depop, there's a guy named Nicholas, I believe. I'll shout him out again if I fuck it up. But Nicholas from North London, he literally will just DM me links to the training gear that I've been looking for years. He sent me links from eBay UK to like, hey, check this one out. Hey, this is in your size. Hey, you should look at this one, yada yada. So he does that. That's not even like to buy from him. He just does that because he's a Tottenham fan. So I was like, bro, I'm gonna have to shout you out.
Shout out.
Definite shout out. But that's weird. It's a random one, but I had to do it.
We do play, before we do sign off, I do want to mention the opponent that we have up next. We do play Burnley this Wednesday. It's on the road. It's if you remember, it's the postponed match from when it was a apparent blizzard in Burnley. I think back in January or December, I forget. But that is the makeup game. It's this Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. UK time. Once again, it is on the road before we head to Leeds United on Saturday. But regardless, we will see you on Wednesday after the Burnley match. But until then, up the lads. Stay safe out there. And Jacob?
Come on, you Spurs. You came on last time. Now you can come on me, you Spurs.
Course.